to housing affordability has been a one-size-fits-all, focused on subsidies that actually increase demand for housing, despite billions of dollars being spent through the American Rescue Plan and the so-called Inflation, makes me laugh every time I say that, Reduction Act. The cost of housing, like the cost of living, has only increased. It's time for a new approach, one that actually deals with the underlying challenges faced by individuals and our housing market more broadly. My legislation, the Road to Housing Act, makes targeted reforms to start addressing these issues. Mr. Anthony, could you speak to some of the benefits of targeted reforms like the Road to Housing Act, as well as talk about how that could increase supply, encourage competition, and frankly, reduce the regulatory burdens that we see today?
I'd be happy to, Senator. Thank you for the opportunity. One of the things that we often focus on when we're talking about trying to solve the housing affordability crisis is to increase demand, except that ends up making the problem worse. If we just have an exercise for a moment here, imagine we gave every renter in the country an extra $100 that they could only use towards their rent. What would happen? Well, landlords would simply just all raise their rent by $100 a month. And so that's essentially what we typically see in a lot of these federal programs that aim to make life easier. They're very well-intentioned programs, and they aim to make life better and make housing more affordable for renters, but instead they end up doing exactly the opposite. They end up increasing costs, not decreasing them. And so things that focus more so on improving supply as opposed to just simply increasing demand have a much better track record. Likewise, if you can give more flexibility in terms of options that regulators have at their disposal so that federal money can be targeted in different ways, in other words, allocated more efficiently, that also seems to have very good results. So doing things like expanding the definition of the kinds of dwellings that would qualify for certain types of subsidies is a very good move in the right direction. Likewise, anything you can do to broadly speaking, increase the financial literacy of those who are poorly off today has an incredible improvement on their quality of life. And the reason for that is because the same characteristics that have typically gotten them into the financial situation which they are today are also going to impede them from advancing further and also impede them from wisely using resources which the federal government or others put at their disposal. I mean, it's largely the same reason why so many people who win the lottery, let's say, or so many NFL superstars end up broke only a few years after they receive millions of dollars, because they simply don't know how to manage their money. They don't understand things like the costs that go into owning a home and everything that entails. And so regulatory flexibility is a tremendous help. Financial literacy is also a tremendous help as well.
Well, you raise an important question about financial literacy, and I think that we hopefully we all can share in understanding and appreciating and agreeing, frankly, of the importance of financial literacy, period. I'd say, however, that in the current environment, looking at President Biden's recent State of the Union, he repeatedly claimed that his economic agenda was working for the average person in our country. But since he's taken office, mortgage rates have ballooned by 150%. 150%. Rent is up 20%. Homelessness in a single year increased by 12%. I think it's a fair assessment to say that the Biden policies are devastating and negatively impacting first-time home buyers. Would you agree with the time that we have left, about 45 seconds?
I would, Senator, and frankly, it's shocking how, if you follow the chain of events, you can see how trillions of dollars of government spending led to so many of the problems that we face today. It caused the inflation, it caused the violent change in interest rates which helped freeze over both the supply of new homes as well as the supply of existing homes to the market, and that has greatly contributed to the increase in prices that we have seen today.
Thank you. I yield back my 13
Thanks, Senator
seconds.
Scott. Happily, thank you.
You're welcome.
Happily. Senator Menendez of New Jersey is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Bailey. The National